See, many of us come from Christian traditions where we have a strong missions emphasis, but we almost create departments to excuse the majority of the church from being the church because that's what the missionaries do. It's not what we do. Because I just go to work and I have my nice little house and I have my nice little comfortable lifestyle and I'm exempt from doing that, but I'm going to send an offering to the missionary. God bless them, because that's for the elite troops of the church. That's for the Navy SEALs. That's for the big guns. That's for the Billy Grahams. That's for the Peter Pretoriuses. That's for the Chris Caines. That's for the Navy SEALs of the Christian church. The rest of us, we're just normal. And our job is comfort and convenience. We just got to make sure we protect ourselves. I want to read you a scripture so you don't get nervous that I actually haven't read the Bible, because I know people do get nervous about that. I have quoted scripture much. Miss Beth will give you beautiful theology, but now you just get me. If you put up John chapter 17, the guys that are tracking with me are freaking out because they're thinking she hasn't said anything she was going to say yet. So here we go. This is Just keep preaching. My prayer is not, Jesus says, that you would take them out of the world. I wonder if that ever gets your attention. When Jesus is praying and saying, let me just qualify what I'm not saying. Let me qualify what I'm not saying. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. He goes on, they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. We've heard that beautifully from Dr. Evans. And then we go on, sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. Here we go, the kicker, verse 18. As you sent me into the world, I've sent them into the world. Now, I think these three verses have been taken out of most Christian Bibles. I think that because for some reason we spend a whole lot more of our time trying to get out of the very place where God sent us into. We spend a whole lot of time condemning and judging and arguing about and writing blogs about and having discourse about the very place that Jesus said, look, I do not pray, Father, that you take them out of the world, but that just in the same way you didn't take me out of the world. They're not of the world, just as I'm not of the world. Sanctify them by thy word. Thy word is truth. As you sent me, I send them. Job profile at the end of a chapter on unity that we're going to hear so much about. And if you're asking me why we're missing it all, it's predominantly about this. Because we are scared of the very world that God has called us into because of the marred image that we have of the Father and the very warped view we have of each other. And you will only ever love the world just as you love yourself. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. We do love our neighbor as we love ourselves. We just hate ourselves, and we don't like each other. And so Jesus says, would you get yourselves sorted out? Because by this will all men know that you are my disciples, not by your big building campaigns, not by your big worship CDs, not by how many books you sell, but here you go, knock yourselves out. This is how they're going to know that you're my disciples. You'll love one for the other. But since you all hate each other, you've come away from the world because they'll never know that you're my disciples. And you go into that world every now and again, you build building programs, and you sell a lot of CDs and you sell a lot of books, and you try to impress them because you want them to think you're as good as them. But you are actually not even supposed to measure yourself like that. What you're supposed to do is actually love yourselves and get out of your little Christian bubble and put yourselves back in the world, love each other in the midst of that, and then they will all know that you are my disciples. It's not complex. This is not complex.